Okay, so the other day I sat down to play two of my favorite games, which is NFL Fever 2002 and Rainbow Six Lockdown. Actually, it was NFL Fever 2003, which you've seen on the channel before, and again, Rainbow Six Lockdown. So I kicked off and started shooting bad guys and thought to myself that I want more. I want more than what the standard games gave back in those days. There's been things like title updates. There was also a batch of downloadable content. And I thought to myself, well, how can I get that content and put it back over on my original Xbox? Well, since the original Xbox Live servers, they've been since shut down, what should I do?
Go to the internet.
Okay, so there is a website. Obviously, you can do a search for this one and find it for yourself. And what this does is this lists all of the downloadable content for the original Xbox, as well as things such as title updates. So maybe the game received an update at some point, and now obviously you can't access that because the Xbox Live servers are down. So since this comes with an installer, you'll be able to add these into like the applications folder, for example, and run the update directly right off of your hard disk drive. Okay, so you can see a number of titles here, such as there's an Amped 2, things like Brother in Arms. Looking down through this list, looks like there is NFL Fever 2003, which is a roster update. That's one of the ones that we'll be taking a look at. Mech Assault, and of course, a few others, especially the notable one is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And then scrolling on down through the list, you will see there is title update patches. And the one that we will pick here will be more than likely the Rainbow Six Lockdown update installer. There's a bunch of other ones that is in here. So Far Cry, there's a couple of those that's very helpful, especially for games that did not work very well out of the box. As you scroll down through this a little bit, you can see the contents of what's actually inside of the downloadable content. So for example, we can see here with NFL Fever 2003 that this is going to be a roster update. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good overview. Go ahead and select the patches or the downloadable content for the game that you're looking to get more out of. And I have went ahead and I've downloaded the NFL Fever 2003 roster update, as well as I've downloaded an update to my game Rainbow Six Lockdown. Okay, and so let's jump over to our Windows Explorer. Okay, so I went ahead and I downloaded mine. I did extract it, and once extracted, you will see a list of files. So right here is the list of all of the files that comes with the NFL Fever 2003 downloadable content. And the main thing to take a look at here is there is this default.xbe. So this is going to copy the files in the proper location. Go ahead now and open up your FileZilla FTP client. So FileZilla is an FTP client that you can easily connect to your Xbox, and you can move files to and from the Xbox. So in my instance, I already have a site called Xbox, and it's set up with FTP, and the host here is my local IP address. Encryption is only plain, and then login type normal, and then we have Xbox for the username as well as the password. So let's go ahead and hit the connect button here. Okay, so on your system, go ahead and navigate to where you keep your applications. On mine, it's just an E drive, and it's just called apps. And if I go back over and I look on my local machine, there's just this big old folder called NFL Fever 2003 downloadable content. You're just going to simply drag and drop, and it should be copied over to your Xbox. And if you want to double check and look at the contents, you can do so by going into it. And there you go. There is your default.xbe. It's a good thing to take a look at these README files as well. So we're going to go to Explorer and then back and open up this README.txt file. And what they're really stating inside of this is that in order to use the installer, you basically need to run NFL Fever 2003 at least one time. What I typically do is I at least run it, and I usually create a profile just because. If you don't want to do that, it gives you some instructions on which folder that you would need to create. And while we're here, we might as well go ahead and upload the Rainbow Six Lockdown update installer as well. Just navigating out to it and dropping it right there on my Xbox. Okay, so here I am. I'm inside NFL Fever, and I am typing my name for a user profile. And now I'm just going to go ahead and just launch a game and select my profile just for the fun of it. Okay, everything looks well there. Let's go ahead and jump back into our dashboard. Okay, so I went into my applications, and here we go. I can see there's NFL Fever 2003 downloadable installer, and let me just do a quick refresh. And now you'll also see the Rainbow Six Lockdown update installer. Let's go into the NFL Fever 2003 installer. And this is what you will see. You'll see updated roster. Basically hit A to copy, and it tells you how many blocks. And then after that, it tells you to restart. So I just restarted. Okay, so I relaunched NFL Fever 2003, and let's go ahead and let's kick off, and we should see that the person that's receiving the ball is a different name than what it previously was. So let's go ahead and kick off. Okay, so it does look like the updated roster is now in effect. Let's go ahead and let's do Rainbow Six. But first, I need to install it. Okay, here we go. And through the magic of editing, poof, 34 minutes just disappeared. And the game is now copied to our hard drive. As usual, go ahead and launch the game and play around with it to create the necessary folders that the update will need. Then head back to your dashboard. And this time select Rainbow Six Lockdown Update Installer. You'll get this wonderful screen. You're going to select A again to install the update. Okay, so we hit start, and then we will load up the game. All right, the game is loaded up, and I couldn't find a version information or anything in this game. So I just assume that the update was installed, and the update was installed successfully. Okay, so that is pretty much it for today. I do have a $30 3 consoles from 3 different companies challenge that you probably want to take a look at. It's a ton of fun, and it's something that I've never done before. I would greatly appreciate it if you check it out. But feel free to go ahead and like, subscribe, and to comment on this video, and I will see you on the next one. Michael out.